Don't blink, it's your blink. Welcome to Come to the show. If you're doing well, because guys are having a wonderful day on this. Puppies. What's the puppies? Playing with a water bottle. Not sure if you should ingest plastic, but hey, who am I to decide? Today we're talking about Star Wars, but today we're doing a video for the gaming channel. So, fun fact, yesterday was the 4th of May, today is the 5th. Fun fact, last year, my apologies, you see I don't plan these. The 9th of May, which is in 4 days, we're celebrating 4 years of making content. So the first year I was just streaming. The second year, I wasn't making content as we are right now. Last year was the very first year where I started making content. And you could see my coverage of the 4th, May the 4th, which was Star Wars, and it's not great, right? And I was like, okay, well, I cannot stream right now because Twitch won't allow. It's a long story. Twitch only allow up to 100 hours of content to be stored. We have a huge 700. We're down to 111, so we're good. But I can only stream when I have under 100. So the plan would be to stream Elden Ring for 24 hours. That's what I do every single year. We have a celebration. It is Elden Ring. It is Elden Ring. And then it is Elden frickin' Ring. Don't ask me why. It just is. So then, where was I going with that? Oh yeah, okay. So I couldn't stream, right? And I was like, okay, well, I could play Fortnite. Fortnite, yes, last year was my coverage of the May the 4th. My apologies. So now, my apologies. I'm kind of effed up. So what ended up happening is, I was like, what can I do for gaming? And I may not know much about Star Wars. Once again, I just did a huge video about how much I don't know about Star Wars. You think you know Star Wars until you really look it up. And I was going to talk about the gaming aspect of Star Wars. And the reality is, I had a couple of games with Star Wars. I had a huge amount of games. The very first one was on Nintendo 64. They had the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th game. The 6th movie, but I didn't like the games. I was too young to appreciate it. I was a kid who wanted to play. I wanted to play Mario. I wanted to play Mario Kart and Mario 64. If I was lucky, I was playing Zelda, not Star Wars. So my experience goes way further. My experience goes with the N64. And it was a game that I really enjoyed. And that was Star Wars Racing. That game I played a shit ton. So, you just heard me. One of the first game I had, and this is how you realize the importance of the Star Wars series in my life. And I didn't even realize that before. The very first game that I had was... now, this is complex. So, my father bought me the Nintendo 64. I was 4 years old, so 1997. Now, my very first game was the game that came with the console. So, I never remember if it is Super Mario 64 or Super Mario Kart 64. I don't know what it is. But I know it's one of those two. So, I played Mario Kart a lot because I was playing with my father, I was playing with my friends. Yes, I had friends. I know it's hard to believe, but fuck you. And it was just a good time. And then Mario 64 was fun. It has some secret passage, but then Star Wars Racing was so much better. You had damage to your car. You could damage your car, first of all. You could bump into other people, and then they had like more resistance. So you'd have kind of goons, like bigger ship. You can battle with each other. You can get into fights, and then you would make more damage because you're bigger. Or you could have a smaller vehicle and go faster. You'd not be able to take damage. So that was my very first Star Wars game. My second Star Wars game was very, very simple. Revenge of the Sith. Revenge of the freaking Sith. Oh, that game. That game was life-changing without being life-changing. So, I know that doesn't make a lot of sense, but it was. So, this game was my very first game with What If. technically speaking, once again, it was so long ago. Was it my very first game, or was my very first game Dragon Ball Budokai 1? Because in Dragon Ball Budokai 1, you have this alternate timeline where Cell, he absorbed Krillin and he's weaker. But with Star Wars, the Revenge of the Sith, it was so nice because you had a playthrough where you played as Obi-Wan, and you had a playthrough that played as Anakin, and there was the biggest what if possible. What if Anakin won versus Obi-Wan? He killed Palpatine, right? So yeah, so this is the huge one. So you had that, right? And to me, that was mind-boggling because it was like, holy shit, this is a completely different timeline. How much this changed, right? Now, it's to me, it's insane because that wasn't even my favorite game. My favorite game was Star Wars: The Force Unleashed. From a narrative speaking, but more so from a behind the scenes speaking. We're filming the Nature Corn and we're filming some Tower playthrough. So we had a character. I don't even Starkiller. I don't remember the name of the characters. I don't remember the name of the actor, but the actor is somebody I really like. I'll be completely honest. As far as I'm a gamer, but I'm a gamer that likes to play game. That doesn't think about the behind the scene. As far as it goes, this is possibly one of my favorite voice actor because he's a nerd. He gave advice to the people of Star Wars. Like, for example, he's saying, hey, there's a viral video where he's saying like Padme meeting Anakin's mom, and then this guy's like, no, they met already. Or there's this other scene where in the game you got Starkiller, which is Starkiller is the student or the Padawan of Darth Vader. It's complex. We'll get back to it. So what ended up happening is there's a scene where he's meditating, and they're playing it very calmly. But then this guy comes in, and this guy is very popular. He played at Deacon St. John. He played in Dexter as a copycat killer, and he was like, no, he learned to meditate from a Sith. He doesn't know how to meditate. He only knows anger. Now Starkiller, why this game was so special, why this game was life changing, was because every single game, from what I know, there's a Jedi that turns to a Sith. This is a very rare occasion, and that was decades ago, and I still remember the scene from the beginning. You're playing as Darth Vader, right? And with Darth Vader, what ended up happening is, it's like this planet, right? And there is the young Padawan. So Darth Vader and the Secret Apprentice, right? Now, I don't really remember, but in my mind, Darth Vader was going to be using Starkiller to kill Palpatine, right? To kill Palpatine. Because we know that, so it's complex. It's really complex. I don't know. A lot of people say Darth Vader is stronger than Anakin, because he has a better mastery of the Force. However, Anakin was a better sword fighter. Right? So who was the strongest? And I believe that Darth Vader couldn't kill Palpatine. Right? So then, what ended up happening is you have this character, played again by this guy that I freaking adore. And he's a Sith that becomes a Jedi. He meets a Jedi which has no eyes. Well, no eyes, he's blind. And then is slowly becoming a Jedi. Right? Now, this is incredible because what other game had a Sith becoming a Jedi? Now, technically speaking, there's a lot of them. Dark Revan became a Jedi. There's a lot of Sith that became Jedi, right? But it's more rare versus a Jedi that becomes a Sith, right? So then what happened is, my apologies. Such a lore for Star Wars, such a lore. So what happened is, these games, why they were so life-changing to me, well, first of all, you could use the Force, you could fight, which was great, but it was the very first game where you could find some secrets. You could find some secret costume, secret handle, secret crystal. You could completely customize your character. And then, the last game that I played was Star Wars, the Jedi Order, the Fallen Order, I don't remember. It's Star Wars Jedi Survivor. This is the next one. So the first game on PS4, and ultimately speaking, this is Star Wars and Disney trying to profit off trying to profit off trying to profit off the souls. So that's what it is. But it's a really good game. Technically speaking, gameplay wise, game mechanic wise, this is the best because there's so much to do. Who doesn't like Cal Kestis? Cal Kestis is played by one of my favorite actors, which is Ian from Shameless or Joker from Gotham. Super talented, super kind. He looked like a good guy. But more so than that is, it's such a cool game because once again there's a lot of Jedi left, so it's all a question of what you prefer. So yesterday we were talking about what we saw for videos, for movies. And one of my favorite is The Clone Wars because it's in between the second and the third. And my basic knowledge is the first movie, the second movie, the third movie. Right? There's next to nothing in between the first one and the second one. And this is really good. So with the Jedi Survivor, it's kind of in between the third and the fourth, which is after the Order 66. It makes sense. Makes sense. I hope. So then, what ended up happening is, I fell in love with the context. But then, compared to Force Unleashed, to me, Force Unleashed was better. But it's still a really good game. Plus, we got B2, which is amazing. I think a lot of people, myself included, realize the fact that Anakin had and again, I'm gonna get so much hate for that, but I don't care. This is my opinion as a fan of this series. I think we loved R2D2, right? I think we like the fact that Anakin had R2D2 and he had C3PO. And then people are gonna say I don't like C3PO. Okay, well, C3PO has a really important use. He knows language, a lot of language, right? Now there's the other guy that does that, and that's Jar Jar Binks. So you have a choice between C3PO and Jar Jar Binks. Cool. I'm glad we can agree. So I think B2 kind of reproduced that, but just in a better way. B2 is a cool characters, and then you got Cal who kind of dances with the how can I say that? He kind of dances with the dark side more in the Jedi Survivor, which I haven't played. Because it's a PS5 exclusive, and we have a PS4. And that is my gaming experience with Star Wars. So my favorite's gonna be Star Wars Force Unleashed. Just a better character, just a better story. Just more liberty. You know? Yeah, that's pretty much it. We love you guys. Take it easy. Peace.